few comments and stuff, and they look a lot more interesting. The condition has the ID, which it has to be the same as in the menu, so the menu knows which condition to use. This is there's a different code, really.
That's what is displayed in the event editor. Now, when you add a condition, you can see first is the object, is an L, then there's first value and the second value. Which we have in the params. This is expressions, where we enter numbers and stuff like that.
So we have the that's the name, that would represent the name of the object, that would represent the first parameter, that would represent the second parameter, and so on. So we'll leave all that.
Sorry, you still have to define a menu, the bottom menu?
The menu we have separated so that people can use it even though they don't have a resource editor, because there are free versions of Visual C++ which don't work don't work with resources. So that as long as you have the ID the same as it is in your actual condition, action, or expression, it should work fine. And then you just give it a name. You can have separators, you can have submenus like that. You can have and then items within the submenus. So if you've got any questions, just ask them.
So you made macros actually to define the menus?
Most of these are macros. Like Billy did the menu system.
It's macros is set up to a class I made with a menu.
So if we go to the definition of the macros,
with the bullets,
yeah,
the link on, and then use the functions in edit time.
So we have these.
Where you open the menu.
That's not what's the written of it.
Is it possible to use the editor of menu of Visual C?
Not at the moment, but we were going to add the functionality so you could actually decide whether you wanted to use resources or.
It shouldn't be hard to implant it back, so you can switch between them.
We were going to do that, but not in this edition which we've created. So the parameters are quite a bit simpler than they are in the old SDK, because in the old SDK you had to manage having it in an array of stuff and all that. I'm going to talk too much. So we'd have the number of the parameters at the start, we'll just have the 1. No, we'll just have none. And we...
And you need to change the name to on it.
We'll make the condition and obviously I am, and I can't be bothered to write a very complicated routine which hooks up to my webcam at home and checks if I'm sitting in front of the computer, so we'll just return true for now. Really? The actions, we don't really need any. No. The expressions, we will have one. We'll just keep the default one, which adds up 2 things anyway. So then we need the menu. This can be as simple or as complicated as you want to make it. But we'll build that. We're going to build the release build, which will, which is for viewing in Multimedia Fusion. So if we minimise all this and we go back to Multimedia Fusion.
The build is set up to copy the file, so you don't need to copy it. Yeah, now I can show it. This is the new build also.
This is the hardware accelerated build.
So hope it works.
Yeah. We haven't actually tried it yet.
Yeah.
So there's the object we just made. If we put it in frame now, if we check the event editor, there should be the condition is done at the convention. here,
Yeah. Go ahead, there.
which should evaluate to true, and we have no actions. So if we were to insert a string object, and then if jam is at the convention, we will change the string to the sum of 4.
And make it into a string.
Yeah. 75.993. Even though it doesn't take a float, so that'll have absolutely no effects whatsoever on what the object actually does. And if we run that, 79. So that's obviously the extension working, and it didn't take very long.
How does it come when it create run object, display run object? Are these routines the same, or did you do some changes there?
We've done a few changes, but not very many. Create run objects, it does include some things so that we can do all the beta pop-ups and stuff if you uncomment the things. But other than that, it's pretty much the same. The properties and stuff, Willy has.
They are still in the workings, so not, right now they're just a bit cover up.
Yeah, they work pretty much the same as they do, just a bit more. So behind it, we've written
and lots of code too. Since
Yeah.
we've
we've got all the functions. There's a new runtime header object which has some functions for doing stuff like getting expression parameters, calling functions, and then it's got all of the R functions are now represented in as proper functions.
Alright.
So that makes it a bit simpler.
They also replace the ticks whole.
We've got
file.
the tigs HPP file is now replaced all the functions in it. We've got all the functions for manipulating objects, like other objects. This is my magic flag system, which basically checks which flags have been uncommented, and if they have been uncommented, it uses those flags. And then working with that is also the magic R data system, which which one is that?
You need an outcome, even if you only have a sprite or animation and no movement.
Alright, so we do have an outcome here.
Yeah, but it's only if there is a movement, but it also has to be valid when you've got a sprite and
but
animation.
we have.
Oh, I'm sorry. No.
Alright, so that's the new SDK, which hopefully should accelerate extension development quite a bit, because it's obviously a lot simpler for people to get extensions working and a lot rapider for development. So we're going to release this demonstrational edition on the forums shortly after the convention. So that's all we've got to say, really.
Yeah.